Okay, good morning, afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Were you ever stuck in a conversation where you couldn't continue because you don't know what the slang means? Or were you ever lack of confidence because of your heavy accent? Well, if that's the case, our team has a product that's perfect for you. At Grish, an application that incorporates voiceover with the learning process of another language. Speak the language, but not the words. And I'm Lauren.
I'm Joanna. I'm Celia.
And I'm Jeremy.
So before we start, I would like to bombard you guys with some of the facts that we have for ESL learners. As of the year 2000, there was 750 million English as a foreign language speakers. And as of the year 2014, this number has increased to 1.5 billion total English learners worldwide. And these are some actual questions from a friend from China. My vocabulary is perfectly fine, but why can't you understand me? What do you mean by a piece of cake? Are you insulting me? What is bra? Does it have anything to do with bras? These questions might sound funny and even absurd. However, these all point to one and only one problem, that oral speaking is a problem during the process of language learning. However, Grish is your solution. So this is the outline for our presentation today. We're going to start with the information of the actual product and inspiration behind it, competition, customer segments and marketing, cost and profit, last but not least, future plans. So we now present you Speak the Language, Not the Words, Grish. It creates an opportunity for language learners to speak freely while getting in touch with the culture and slangs. Now let's see our demo. So as we can see that as we land on a home page, it is vivid and it's filled with videos that it's tailored to our customers. But how exactly is it tailored? Let's go to inventory to see how the personal profile is actually built. So as you can see that my personal profile is already built, but if you're a new customer, you can always start off the journey by taking the assessment. So welcome. I am female and I'm 16 years old. This is how quickly I want to improve my oral speaking. And I'm originally from China. And I like movies over TV series, and I prefer sci-fi. So with just one click and a simple quiz, our system can automatically do all of these calculating and just give you suggestions when you first start. So let's go back to our... So now let's talk about some of the fun parts. How does the voiceover actually works? Go to home and scroll down. Yeah, so before we start the voiceover, we can always choose the characters first. So after choosing character, usually our movie, for instance, a 2-hour and 15-minute movie, is chopped into 5 to 6 parts in order to avoid profanity and all those other stuff. So after watching the original clips for a few times, our customers get to record their voice, replacing the original voice. So they can, and after doing so, they can always play the recording and see what's the difference and what they're lacking in order to improve. So let's talk about some of our inspirations behind this, behind Grish. So we're really inspired by the examples around us, some of the issues, and some of the people who are really good at English but can't speak, and also the way we all learn English. Since we all came to this country recently, we find that the best way to actually improve speaking is through speaking. So we want to create an environment for everyone to do so. And considering Canada's unique environment, we figured that a lot of people have this type of issue. So let's move on to our competitions.
Yes, let's hear from some of our competition. So our three main competitors are Elsa Speak, Accent Free, and Duolingo. These are some of our analysis of their weakness in their current product. They have a very scientific and traditional grammar approach. Although that is beneficial academically, it is very hard for new users to understand, tends to be easy for them to get lost. But our apps is tailor-made. We translate into their own fluent language so they could follow along before translating into a new language, and we have a recording system unlike the other apps because the other app use a logarithm to determine a standard where their English should be spoken at. But our apps, we create their own standard by letting them record their voice and comparing it with the movie standard, a standard they get to choose. Why we stand out? Because we're light and fun. We create an environment that you can comfortably speak. You can be whoever you want in the movies. And we have countless of resources to learn from and a lot of amazing social aspect of the diversity of culture. Our customer segment, these are our customer segment, usually immigrants or 25 years old who wants to settle. our customer exposure is mostly through advertisement and publishing videos through social media like WeChat, Kakao, Line. Those are our main, very diverse social media that involves a lot of different cultures.
And according to survey, about 90% of ESL students would like to try this app because it's efficient, fun, but constructive, and affordable. Also, about 80% of the adults who just settled in Canada prefers this app as well.
Initial cost. So it is divided into 3 parts. And first of all, our app development, it will approximately take $27,800 based on the estimation from Crew App. And Amazon Web Services, which is a server that helps us to run the app, costs about $5,000 per month. And lastly, licensing cost. And how do we make profit? We have 2 phases, and in phase 1, it will be mainly advertisement, free content, and working with other language centers and hosting activities, such as voiceover competitions through our app. And second phase, it will be description-based, and will also allow users to buy full movie permanently and develop other languages.
So our next step, develop the website, obviously, and also working with Learning Center, English Learning Center, and create a database full of videos that user can choose from. But where's Grish heading? So in 10 years, we want to be a direct platform between producer and consumer. We want our consumer to be able to expose to many different types of videos and our producer to effectively put out their works on our platforms. Here's the Grish team. Thank you to our mentor, Robert, for helping us through this journey. And thank you for your time.
Great, thanks guys. So you scrolled over it really quickly, so just for the audience, I'm taking it you're a subscription model, is what it looked like, $4 to $5 a month, is that right?
Yes.
So I'd love one of you to talk about a little bit to me about the stickiness that you're gonna create to encourage the person who downloads it and loves it and starts using it, but then, like most apps on our phone, we use it once or twice and then we don't use it again. So something in apps that's really important is to figure out a stickiness where either you're reaching out to the user or there's something between user to user that encourages them to use it more than just a couple times and keep that subscription rolling, because that's a relatively high fee. It doesn't sound like a lot, but $4 to $5 for a millennial a month seems like a lot.
So first of all, I would like to talk about the pricing more. It really depends on how many copyrights that we get and copyrights that we buy, and also about the stickiness. We would like to introduce some of the, like for instance, competition in order to connect people, and so that they can do voiceovers together. Like not only with your competitors, also with your friends, in order to win a competition together. So we're planning to hold some of these events in the future, and with rewards such as coupons and stuff, and yeah.
Yes, like for an example, there's an app in China called TikTok, and people do voiceover in Chinese, but we want to inspire that in a more culturally diverse way, where they can do different voiceover, and it's very famous, and a lot of people use it even though they gain nothing. So I feel like our apps would be can be an interesting activity, for example, like Instagram or Vines, People can create different types of content on there.
Great, it looks like you girls really did some thinking about that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Last question? Go ahead. Okay, so I was curious about the financials. You only had the cost of building the actual app and the, I think, server costs. And I was wondering if you've worked out more what your longer-term financials would look like. You mentioned you have a 10-year plan, but I want to know about my return on investment maybe a little bit sooner than that. Also, what is your ask of me as an investor?
So we're actually planning, since we don't have a lot of budget in phase 1, we're actually planning to use a lot of the free contents online without having concern for the licensing price and a lot of copyrights and stuff. So that's where the step 1 and where we're starting.
And what's your ask of an investor? What are you asking for?
Oh, we just asked for around $30,000 because this is an online application and it's really cheap investment, but like Netflix. It started out as a really cheap investment, but now they're making their own movie. That's what we want to be one day.
Okay. I'm going to suggest you have a very specific ask when you're speaking to the investors.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to give that kind of feedback. But
thank you
so much.
Your feedback.
Of course. I'd be happy to help if you find me afterwards. I have some other points of feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well,